we really need to improve our game. So, like I said, this is going to be our clay farm using polluted water. It looks a little bit complicated with just the build orders, but it's quite simple, let's just say. It's enough that over time we are going to be producing a bunch of resin, and now we already have a little bit, which will allow us to test our system to the outside of the steam chamber, which means that effectively this thing is now 100% working. Alright my friends, so in order to make sure that we maximize the surface area principle, hello there, I'm the Biz Manager and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, today we are going to continue the cleaning efforts of the swampy planet over here. There is plenty of garbage that needs to be cleaned out before we can send a cargo rocket over here. But other than that, we are almost done over here. Almost, of course, there is still things to be discovered. But right now our objective has been achieved, which was extract as much clay as we could from here. However, unfortunately we saw last episode that we were not successful in extracting a lot of it. This is not going to be enough for our needs, which means that we'll probably need to also tame the the polluted oxygen vents that we have laying around in this place and turn them into clay farms. However, that still remains to be seen. On the home front, however, we are still undergoing a project over here to harness the power of the rockets. The rocket exhaust should eat up a steam chamber, which then will be converted into quote-unquote power by these two steam turbines. The objective is not exactly to harness a bunch of power, but to harness a little bit and to create a chamber to tame the resources that we can bring from space, like liquid tungsten and liquid iron. Those are extremely toasty and need a place to be cooled off before they can be put into circulation. So this is going to be that place. So we need to get this thing rolling. We are going to need a bunch of tungsten and wolframite, but oh well, we have a bunch of resources now, so I don't think we are going to run into many issues. Now, my friends, given that the cleaning efforts are going wondrously, most of the junk has already been cleaned. We only have a little bit over here and a little bit over here. How about we uncover these two volcanoes? So we have one hot polluted vent over here, and I'm pretty sure we have another one over here as well. It's just too bad that this one is in a really bad spot. It's super close to this thing, and the heat generated by this hot polluted vent can be quite substantial. Oh. Hello. Ah. Okay. Very interesting indeed. What do we have here? So, you're telling me that I don't have to clean up a bunch of magma to get access to a tungsten volcano? Really? Okay, game. Thank you. Okay, this is pretty nice. We can tame this one pretty easily and get ourselves a bunch of tungsten from this. Alright, my friends, so our stay is about to come to an end. I just want to finish cleaning up the remaining garbage, which is just these little bits of here. Which means, how about we open up this area and see what's behind door number 1. I have to say, this thing changes things a little bit. We are still going to get out of here and come back with a cargo rocket to collect... Oh, hello! To collect all of the clay that we have available. But now... Once we are done with that, we probably should go straight into resource collection. And resource collection it is, my friends, the experiment 52B. A very mean tree. This thing consumes calories and poops out resin, which we can then turn into insulation via a few convoluted methods, but right now we have to clean up this chamber because we have a mix of polluted water and resin, which is no good. But at the same time we need to be very, very careful. We cannot allow our dupes to go anywhere near that tree, otherwise she's going to give them a spanking. Alright, so the things that we are going to do while we are still in here is getting this thing kinda rolling. We are not going to complete it in this journey, but we are going to kinda contain this thing. Some unfortunate critters sometimes turn into tree meals, and so we are getting a little bit of resin, so it would be nice to get those little bits contained, so that it doesn't mix with our polluted water. It would be a mess to clean it up. So yeah, if we can get at least this thing cleaned up and ready to roll, I'm going to be pretty happy. Excellent way to get yourself trapped, Bubbles. Splendid. Alright, my friends, so I've been thinking, and I think I know how I want to proceed. So, this thing over here, as we know, produces resin. Resin can be turned into isoresin if we cook it to a temperature of above 125 degrees. However, we cannot let that temperature reach 200 degrees, otherwise we are going to waste the precious isoresin into naphtha. Right, then we can use the isoresin to make either insulation or visco gel. But yeah, how are we going to cook that thing? Pretty simple. We are going to input the resin into a steam chamber for a cooling loop. These things, the steam turbines, they are going to need cooling, right? Because they are going to be taming something pretty powerful, which is the tungsten volcano. However, instead of putting the aqua tuner inside of this thing, we are going to put it into a separate chamber, and we are going to use the aqua tuner to control the temperature of the steam chamber. We are going to use a couple of sensors to prevent the aqua tuner from going above a certain temperature, just to make sure that we never overcook the isoresin. Alright, my friends, so we have finished encapsulating this thing, so no more polluted water should get in there, which is just great. We are just cleaning out a few remaining things, but by the end of this cycle we should leave this planet. And then, once we lift off, we are going to launch one of our resupply rockets. I'm going to send this one because it has more fuel, and it's a quite the long journey over there. In fact, we can launch it right now. Let's call in the crew. Alright, my friends, so all the dupes are inside of the cockpit now, which means we can start launching these rockets. Our dupes have done a fantastic job over here, but it is time for them to leave now. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure the dupe has already boarded this rocket as well, so let's go over there and collect us some clay. Oh well, my friends, it would appear that our friends over here, or in this case our friend, has arrived into the planet. Now, we must select over here what we want to be sent. Only the clay, please, at least for now. It's cultivable soil, right there. So now we start inputting the clay into there. I'm pretty sure everything is now built. Yep, this thing is powered. This thing accepts the clay, so let's just make sure that Turner doesn't leave the module to do things. You know what, my friends, this time we are going to allow Turner to get out of the rocket, stretch his legs, do a little bit of cleaning up over on this side of the cosmos. Once he destroys his suit, he won't be able to leave the rocket anyway, so it's not like he's going to be exposed to space. And once he arrives into the main base, someone will replace the suit for him. So there is, I don't think there is any harm in allowing him to do these tasks. Now, my friends, life goes on, and over here on this planet, these two dupes have been quasi-busy. There is nothing for them to do, so most of the time they are just idling. So I just hollowed out most of the core of the planet, and I am like transporting these resources over into our base. However, I completely forgot that we had this natural gas geyser over here, so I'm going to just create a small chamber for it. I'm going to vacuum out this area. I'm just going to wait for it to go dormant. And after that we'll analyze it, vacuum out the area, and once everything is done, we break these tiles and allow this natural gas to flood into this chamber. Alright my friends, so our clay collection is done. We have 22 tons of the stuff, pretty nice. We are not going to take the gold, however, because we are going to need it for future projects. So yeah, we're going to leave that behind. We'll collect it eventually. Right now, the objective of coming into this planet has been achieved, so let's go back with all of this clay so that we can cook it and turn it into ceramic. Now my friends, over here on the home front we are in the process of restocking this rocket. Our dupes have been they have been resupplying this, however they take their time. They take their time. So we'll wait until we have approximately 10 suits, and then we'll be able to go back. Other than that, the fuel is already done, the oxygen is already done, it's just the suits as per usual. But well, now, over here we brought another office mug. This is pretty nice because it's a vacillator recharge chance. I believe you have like either a 50% or like a 60%, something like that. Chance to get a vacillator recharge every time you analyze an artifact, so pretty cool. Once we are done with this one, let's restock this one and send it back into space to collect us more artifacts and more goodies. There we go, 10 freshly printed suits, or repaired suits, we don't know. All we know is that these are at 100%, so let's call in the crew, set our target to the orbit of that planet so that we can drop the rover and send this rocket over there to continue building. Alright, dupes, time to get back to work, and we are even going to send this rocket once again to go collect us more artifacts and more resources. There we go, beautiful double launch. Alright my friends, our rocket with a bunch of clay is now, yeah, pretty cool. So we are going to have access to roughly 27 tons of ceramic, which I am pretty certain that is not going to be enough for what we need. But well, we already have all the clay that we could possibly have. I think we have exhausted the universe of clay. Clay is now a more rare resource than fluorine and other components. But that's fine. Let's go back into the first planet that we colonized to go grab us aluminum and gold. There we go. Please don't cook the clay inside of this thingy. Thank you. Now, my friends, I've been thinking a little bit, and well, we are going to modify one of our hydrogen rockets. The reason for that is quite simple. If we take a look at our cryogenic fuel facilities, we can see there is a big disparity between the amount of oxygen that we have available and the amount of hydrogen, right? So, what we could do technically, we could come over here and replace this large cargo bay. Let's deconstruct it right now. And we could replace it with a gas storage, and we can send that rocket specifically only to come over here to the Ilian cloud. In here we can find water and hydrogen. Right, we can put the hydrogen straight into the chamber, and the water, well, we are also needing water, so it's not like it's going to be a wasted resource, right? Look at this. Yeah, our water supply is a little bit low today, so it would be nice, right, getting that water going as well. So let's deconstruct these thingies. In fact, we should probably make it the other way around. We should build a small cargo gas cargo canister and a big liquid cargo canister, given the percentages of resources that we have over here, 20% versus 80%. So we can bring around 20 tons of material every time we come over here to mine, which means it would be roughly 4 tons of hydrogen and 16 tons of water. Can this hold 16 tons of water? Yeah, no. So yeah, we are going to turn this around. We are going to deconstruct this one as well, so that we can build a large cargo for the water and a small cargo for the gases. Alright, so here is the updated rocket. Now, this thing can only carry 3600 kilograms, which is fine. If you think about this way, each cargo container can bring up to 900 kilograms of liquid hydrogen, right? Which means a rocket requires 1800 kilograms. You double that, you get this amount, which means that if we fill this one up with hydrogen, it is effectively two fill-ups of a rocket, so it pays for the journey there, and also we get a little bit of a positive in the sense that we have enough hydrogen to fill up another rocket. Alright, my friends, so I believe the rocket has arrived. Yes, it has. So let's deploy a rover to help us out with the building efforts over there. Let's go back into the planet. Not that planet. This planet. And land over here. Now, on this journey over here, we are probably... Oh, hello. Interesting. We are probably going to try and tame this tungsten volcano and get some sort of farm rolling so that we can feed the tree. So, the idea is quite simple. We make a small mushroom farm over here. We have a bunch of slime available that this planet has provided us, so we are going to use it to create mushrooms. Plants don't really need to be tended in order for them to be harvested, quote unquote. You can just leave them be and eventually they will drop you know, their item, and then you can collect it and send it without dupe interaction. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But time is something that we have, so there is no point in rushing things. Oh, hello, what is that? I betcha, that is from this planet over here. Okay, the planets are right next to each other. Okay, very interesting. Let's not look at that ugly planet for a little while. We have things to do over here. Now, my friends, as I build things around this place, I notice that we are running quickly out of space. Yeah, I should be careful with the things that I build, because we still need to build a cooling loop to chill out all of this, and well, that's pretty much it. But still, I'm just occupying all of the space with random stuff, and then I will end up not having enough space for everything that I need to build. Well, my friends, I bring very sad news. All of the clay that we brought and turned into ceramic only allows us to build this. These pipes coming from the hydrogen chamber are made out of igneous. Just look at the pipes for the oxygen line. This is all that we were able to build with 26 tons of ceramic. Yeah, that's like, wow. Very interesting, shall we say. Alright, my friends, so given our current situation, we really need to set up a clay farm. There is no way around it. There is several ways we can do this, right? I mentioned that we could technically use this hot polluted oxygen vent to create the polluted oxygen that we need to get the clay. However, the downside is, well, we have to bring sand over here, or regolith, and we then need to bring the clay back. Also, we need to find something to do with all of that oxygen, and it would be seasonal, meaning it will only work once this thing is active. On the other hand, we could technically use a little bit of our polluted water over here to create a chamber where it would where we would vacuum out all of the carbon dioxide, obviously, creating a vacuum, allowing it to off-gas polluted oxygen, and therefore we would have a far more controllable situation, right? And that thing doesn't need to be that big, actually. We can probably build it over here in this square. So I'm more inclined to do things that way, although we are going to be using a little bit of polluted water for that purpose. Not only that, we only have 74 tons of sand, so that's also like less than ideal because I am unsure if it is a 1-to-1 ratio, but it can't be far from that, so we barely gonna get enough clay if we use all of the sand that we have to get done what we need to do. So yeah, that is also going to be a problem. We'll probably need to mine some sand from space or regolith. We can also get regolith. Not from that one, I believe it's from the Gilded Asteroid Fields. Yep, we can also get a little bit of regolith from these ones. Oh, my friends, I just remembered one thing. We are missing one asteroid field. We didn't get it to spawn this time. The destroyed asteroid field debris. I was analyzing this, and all of a sudden, it came back to me. There is one asteroid field that we don't get, where you can mine glass and melted copper. Yeah, I was wondering why do we only get iron and tungsten from space. I remember clearly also getting copper, and you know that's from the field that we didn't get. I feel ripped off now. Well, my friends, location has been chosen for our clay farm. It's going to be something relatively simple. We don't want anything bigger than a auto sweeper can arrange, which is, yeah, it's this size, perfect. The auto sweeper will be responsible for collecting the clay and inputting the sand or regolith into the deodorizers. We will then also need to find a way to vent this oxygen not into the outside environment, because we went through great lengths to fill up the map with carbon dioxide. But maybe we can even put that oxygen into circulation and use it for our, for our dupes to breathe. Now, my friends, given that the amount of clay that we got from here was disappointing at best, right? We really need to improve our game. So, like I said, this is going to be our clay farm using polluted water. It looks a little bit complicated with just the build orders, but it's quite simple, let's just say. We are going to have some automation controlling the amount of polluted water that we have over here. We really don't want to have too much. It doesn't benefit us. We just want to have a thin layer of polluted water over here, right? That is going to off-gas. We are going to exchange these ladders for tiles, forcing all of that polluted oxygen to go through here, where we are going to have a row of the deodorizers. They are going to be supplied by the auto sweeper, which is going to receive the sand or the regolith via rails over here, and then it's going to remove the clay from this system using rails as well. We are also going to put a deodorizer right there and another one right there, close to the pumps, the gas pumps, just to make sure that should any puff of polluted oxygen move through here, it has a place to be filtrated. However, should any polluted oxygen be removed from the system, is going to go through a gas filter over here, which is then going to input it right there to be filtrated again, and only the oxygen should pass through here. That's at least the theory. Let's complete this thing and then put it into practice. Well, I mean, we are kinda stuck until I get this thing rolling, but at least most of it is already built. Yeah, we're going to just make it look a little bit prettier, given that we are just, let's say, restoring the existing gravitas building over here. We can always make it just that little bit prettier, can't we? Like, until we have more clay, we cannot refuel the oxidizer. Like, we can make the hydrogen line. That much is fine. Yeah, disregard that. Because we are going to make that line out of igneous rock. We are going to be using the 1 kilogram trick, so yeah, we can kinda use igneous rock. However, I would still prefer to use ceramic when we have that available. However, I think we are going to be running our rockets before we have all of that ceramic available to us. But yeah, the oxidizer line is imperative that we use ceramic on. Otherwise, things are going to break every time a rocket liftoffs. The temperature exchange is just going to be too much. The igneous rock won't be able to handle it. It must be ceramic, otherwise it just doesn't work. Wow, really? Really, Ren? You really found a way to get yourself stuck. Get out of there. Alright, my friends, it is built. I think we have done this restoration properly. I kinda like the end result, even though this thing is mostly useless. I'm not going to deconstruct it. I find it to be very pretty. In any case, we are not here for that. We are here because we have a problem to solve. First, let's connect the power. Everything is built. Yep, I built this thingy over here just to override the automation so that we can... oh. Forgot one thing. We don't have an exit to exhaust all of that. Like my friends, this storage room is not becoming extremely confusing or anything. No, 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 no. Very organized indeed. Very, very organized. Yeah, this thing is becoming the biggest mess ever, but okay. It doesn't matter, as long as the resources get to where they need to go. I think we can, like, turn a blind eye on that. Let's just create this massive line. Now we can afford these kinds of things because we have all the resources in the world. Even though I've been spending them like crazy, we are also getting them like crazy. Alright, my friends, over here on the other side of the cosmos, we are now preparing. I have to stop the game because I have to cancel this thing. We are preparing our steam chamber to both create a cooling loop that is going to chill out the map and the steam turbines over here, and act as a cooking chamber for the resin over here. Now, this thing is going to be ultra compact and a tad bit messy, but at the same time is going to work. So, we have over here a traditional cooling loop with a small difference. We have a auto sweeper plus a conveyor loader over here and a few more sensors. Pretty much this sensor over here is just to control the temperature of the chamber, because as we know, resin, if I can select it, if I can select it, there we go. Resin turns into isoresin at 125 degrees. However, isoresin turns into naphtha at 200 degrees, so this sensor is going to prevent the temperature from ever reaching this level. Hopefully that way we can prevent our losing all of our isoresin. In any case, that thing should be cooked almost immediately. The autosweeper will pick it up, put it into the conveyor loader and eject it out of the chamber. Everything else is pretty much the same. It just looks a little bit confusing, but yeah, it's just that everything is Tetrised in as much as I could, so that we are not wasting too much space with this. Oh, and yeah, unfortunately we are also out of steel, so this thermo aqua tuner I just made it so that I could place the pipes and all that, but right now I have to cancel it and only build it once we have the steel over on this side. Well, my friends, an unfortunate puff has met his demise, and so how about we turn his flesh into a little bit of resin. Everything is built so we can see this thing in action. In the future it will be mushrooms, but for now you can sustain yourself with a little bit of puff. Yum 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 yum. Delicious. Yum 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 yum. Wow, Joshua, like, let me tell you, my friends, every time there is a scalding on this starport, Joshua 90% of the time is involved. I think we found a masochist dupe over here that has converted to the Church of Randy. Every single time, my friends. Alright, my friends, good news. This thing has been vacuumed out. It is time for us to get the clay out of this one. There is one thing, however. Where is my... oh, wow. That should not be there. Where is my sand? Where is my sand? Did I build bridges backwards? I don't think so. Why no sand? Yeah, because all the sand is right here. That's why. Okay, makes sense. I've been doing some small optimizations to the industrial area, so that sand should reach its destination pretty soon. I just, well, added a few thingies, extra lines to get the resources out of the industrial area. Less tasks for the dupes to do. And you want to know the cool thing about having a dedicated sand line? I can now automate these things even further. Right now, the water sieves must be operated by a dupe to remove the polluted dirt and put new sand in. However, that will no longer be the case from now on. Alright my friends, so all the deodorizers have been supplied with sand, which means that now we can connect the final piece of the puzzle. Here we go. We connect that. We will have a little bit of polluted water come over here. We want to have, let's say, for now, let's say below 200 kilograms. And then we'll see if we need to increase. I don't think we'll need to increase that amount. We'll always have polluted water available. But yeah, there we go. Polluted oxygen being produced very slowly, of course, but over time this thing is going to fill up. It's going to start being filtrated by the deodorizers, and yeah, we should have our clay that way. Now, I need to find a way to output this oxygen somehow. There it goes, my friends, our very first bit of clay produced in this farm. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit of time until it kicks up. The pressure in here is kind of slowly increasing, very slowly. So yeah, it might take a little while until we get. Oh, but we already have a nice amount of oxygen over here, huh? That's interesting. Hmm. Oh well, like I said, I really need to find a way to get this oxygen out of here, otherwise I'm just going to fill the entire map with oxygen again, and I don't want that. But in any case, now it is time for us to go grab more sand, because unfortunately we don't have an infinite supply of that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that keeping these rockets going as much as we can is of our best interest. Many cycles later, we finally got all the steel that we needed to get this thing built. So now we are just going to close this chamber off on the sides, open it up on the top, so that we can put a little bit of polluted water in, and then some regular water. I still will have to find a way to filtrate it using the thingy, this thing. Not this, refinement. Water sieve. Unfortunately, I don't believe we have any kind of filtration medium over here. Oh, we do have a little bit. Oh, there is a little bit. That's all we need. We only need a couple of grams of regular water, so yeah, it's just that we have to build a big thingy to get it, but oh well. It can be done relatively quick. Although I have to admit, the pipes are going to present quite the challenge, because I always do these kinds of things, building pipes on top of pipes, and then I don't have space to build more pipes. Alright, so with most of the stuff built, let's start inputting the liquids in there. We are not going to use a lot of polluted water, nor are we going to use a lot of water. We really just want to have a little bit, enough to create a sufficient quantity of steel that the thermo aquatuner won't overheat. Okay, I think that's enough. Oops, okay. That's enough polluted water for one day. Enough steam that the steam aquatuner doesn't overheat, but not too much. You really should leave that place, I'm just warning you. But not too much, because over time the resin is going to release enough steam that this thing is going to be pretty pressurized, so we don't want to have that much to start with. Enough, okay guys, enough. And now for the clean water, we are just going to do this. There we go, we cut a line right there, cancel that over there. The input should be good. What are we missing? Power. Power should be ready as well. Bam, bam. There we go. So now we're just going to put a little bit of clean water, enough to create the double layer, and that is going to be it. There we go. Just a few packets of water should be more than enough. Let's go over here, and as we can see, we have created what we were looking for, a place where no gas exists. So I'm just going to filtrate the remaining water that we have, and then I'm going to close the chamber off. Alright my friends, so with the chamber closed off and everything ready to go, all we need to do is build the turbine itself, get the power rolling, which is like a little bit messy on it by itself, but oh well. It's not like we are going to be looking at this for long periods of time, so it's not going to hurt our eyes very much. The automation is already set up as well. This thing is going to work if the coolant temperature is above 15 degrees and the steam chamber temperature is below 150. All of this just go into an end gate that then controls the aqua tuner. Now, for coolant, we are going to use polluted water because that's what we have like available to us right now, and I really don't feel like shipping super coolant from the other side of the of the cosmos. So I think polluted water is good enough. If it's not, well, we can always do the super coolant exchange later. Alright, my friends, so all the polluted water that we are going to need has been inputted, which is pretty nice. We have a store of 1 ton of polluted water to create a nice buffer. So now we are on the process of chilling it out, and we can already see some results. The dust cap is already growing, which is pretty nice, which means that now that these things are going to start growing, we could start the auto slime delivery. Organic slime. No? Oh, yeah, because these things have a higher priority than these things. Right? Yeah, there we go. So now the slime will be automatic delivery. The auto sweepers should do the rest of the job for us. We just need to wait a little bit until the temperature has been stabilized. But as I was deconstructing... Oh! Something died and ended up in there. Okay. Interesting. As I was going to say, our pipe menace has not yet ended because, well, we are still waiting on this thing to go dormant. But once this thing goes dormant, we need to input clean water into the steam chamber. The reason for that is quite simple. If we put polluted water, once it goes into steam, it's going to drop dirt. Given the temperatures that we are going to reach over here, that dirt is going to turn into sand and create a bunch of blocks. And if we are to insulate this chamber without having access to it in the future, that is a no-no, which means we have to completely vacuum it out and put clean water inside of it. And yeah, now, like I said, we are just waiting on this thing to go dormant before we open it up, analyze it, start vacuuming out the entire place and whatnot. Yeah, all of that is dependent on the volcano now. Now, my friends, there was a small detail that my tiny little brain forgot. This thing is a power guzzler. We are going to increase our solar panel count by a little bit, however, I'm still unsure it's even going to make a dent on this. If not, we can always request some coal to be delivered from the main colony and just create a coal power plant. We actually need the carbon dioxide. That's why I built these things in the first place. It was just to burn a little bit of coal to create some carbon dioxide. But now I'll probably need to build something a little bit more serious. Alright, my friends, I'm going to upgrade the automation over here, and I'm going to make a small adjustment. So I was thinking, and well, the aqua tuner is not going to be running all the time, so we need to manage the temperature over here. 150 degrees is not that bad, so what we are going to do is, if the thermosensor is green, the steam turbine is not going to activate. It's only going to activate once the temperature goes above 150 degrees, which, you know, it should be powerful enough to cool off the chamber pretty quickly. Also, I already upgraded the coal power plant over here so that we can keep on dropping carbon dioxide on top of the shrooms over here. We need a little bit more of carbon dioxide, and I'm just going to build a rail system to deliver the coal automatically, given that we are going to be receiving it via interplanetary payload. Now, my friends, unfortunately it would appear that our little experiment over here wasn't exactly successful. I mean, it is successful at creating oxygen, apparently. We already have these two tanks almost filled up. Incredible. But when it comes to the amount of clay that we got, yeah, like 600 kilograms over a few cycles is not exactly a lot, right? Now, the main problem with this is surface area. We don't really have a lot of surface area where this polluted water can offset. Like, the proper way to build this would probably be to increase this chamber a little bit to the side over here, and just let all of this polluted water and all of this surface area to off gas. So I might try to repair this. It's just unfortunate that we have all of these nasty gases over here, which is going to make our lives a little bit difficult. Alright, my friends, we are pretty much done in here. We are just now waiting on things. We are waiting on these dust caps to grow, and we are waiting on this tungsten volcano to go idle. So I'm just going to let our dupes do their collection tasks. There is plenty of payloads spread all over the place. This is just a mess that needs to be cleaned up because we blocked our targeting beacon. But now we have rebuilt it over here, and of course that I need to deconstruct that thing now, because now this is a possible landing location for our interplanetary packets. Alright, so now we can see the constant juggle to keep the temperature afloat, and it's good to see this thing working. Well, we tried to build something pretty. It didn't work. Now we'll have to go for something less pretty. We even will be forced to build a liquid lock, because unfortunately there is no way for us to do this without creating a mess. So we'll have to create a liquid lock over here so that we can first vacuum this thing out, then come over here and break this wall down so that the water can flow and the polluted water, polluted oxygen can saturate this area. Now, my friends, there is a lot of projects underway, but we still need to wait for them to get done, right? However, over here on the rocket port side, our rocket has come back with a new artifact that I have never seen before. The rocket, the Tornado Rock. Yeah, pretty cool. Once again, let's refuel this rocket and send it back into the stars, but we have analyzed a few artifacts by now. Still no, no vacillator recharge. But oh well, that's fine. That's fine. And just look, our coffee mug collection is starting to grow now, which is pretty nice as well. Alright, my friends, the very first mushroom produced in our farm is now being sent via the automatic system to feed the tree, which is pretty cool. We already seen the tree munch before, but now it's with something produced in-house, which is pretty nice. There we go. Nom 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 nom. I mean, it's only a few kilocalories, but hopefully it's enough that over time we are going to be producing a bunch of resin. And now we already have a little bit, which will allow us to test our system. So let's just see, everything is connected. Yep, let's connect to that. Let's connect the power as well, which is right there. Let's cancel that. Cancel that. So, over here we have a liquid valve, which we are going to set to go only 100 grams at a time. Like, I don't know how much would it take to create a block of isoresin. However, if we do that, it's pretty bad. So we are going to transport like 100 grams at a time in the hopes that they turn almost immediately from resin into isoresin. In fact, I'm even going to go one step further. Let's go 50 grams at a time. And then let's see, this thing, why are you not... Oh, disabled by automation. What automation? Deconstruct that, dupes, please. There we go, only a few grams at a time. Going into the chamber. And there we go. Immediately cooked into isoresin. Pretty nice. And then that isoresin is outputted to the outside of the steam chamber, which means that effectively this thing is now 100% working. Pretty nice. It's pretty nice having isoresin production online. In over just a few cycles we already got almost 7 kilograms of the stuff. But when you put that into perspective, it's like not really a lot. Like, let's go over here. Let's say that we want to create viscogel. Yeah, just to make 100 kilograms of viscogel you need 35 kilograms. for insulation is 15 kilograms, but still, yeah, that's a lot of of iso resin that we will have to produce in order to create a bunch of insulation. Alright, my friends, we are producing a good amount of iso resin. It's pretty nice. I think I'm even going to bring it with us once we decide to leave the planet. We are going to... Oh, hello. We are going to sit in here for a little while. We still have plenty of suits, plenty of food, plenty of oxygen. There is nothing forcing us to go back. Besides, there is always cleaning up to do and some other tasks that need to be done, so having the dupes around is only going to help us out. Now, our success over here is not exactly being replicated on the other side of the cosmos. Yeah, this thing is almost ready to roll, so hopefully it's going to help us out, increasing the area for the polluted water to off-gas. It's going to also increase the amount of ceramic that we get. Now, I'm also thinking about bringing other things that off-gas polluted oxygen, such as, like, for example, we have a bunch of slime laying around the place. I don't even know where. Here it is. Like, we've been holding into this slime for, like, forever. Because we are going to make mushrooms, but, well, so far we haven't used it, so how about we use it for this purpose? I was thinking about using some rail systems that would deposit stuff like polluted dirt, slime and stuff like that into this chamber as well. So, yeah, oh, look at that. We have achieved a complete vacuum. Nice, let's deconstruct these things and then break open this chamber. Alright, my friends, so in order to make sure that we maximize the surface area principle, this is what we are going to do. Instead of just stockpiling all of that slime in one spot, we are going to use these weight plates over here to determine once we have a sufficient amount of stuff in there, which is then going to shut off a conveyor shut-off, sending the slime into another tile. I hope that using this will increase the amount of polluted oxygen that we are creating. Okay, my friends, so the reasoning behind this is quite simple. It looks a little bit complicated, but it is not. So, we have all of these thingies all connected to their individual shutoffs, except for this one. This one is going to be the last in the line. In theory, we should only have slime over here if all of the other lines are already filled up, right? And that is going to be one of the things that shuts off the auto sweeper over here to prevent it from inputting more slime than it needs to be inputted, right? And then this thing will also be commanded, shall we say, by the remaining sensors. Should the slime in any of them evaporate to the point that they request more, this part of the OR gate will overcome the other one and request a little bit more. But the second it gets slime in there, it will shut off once again. Now, my friends, I am so focused on so many projects that I completely forget to just launch all of my rockets. My dupes have been stuck in here for so long without me paying attention to them. I am so sorry, dupes. Please feel free to launch your rockets whenever you feel like it. There we go, just a bunch of rocket launches. And even during nighttime, dupes must come over here to witness the rocket launch and expose themselves to a bunch of radiation. Now, my friends, as you can see, I'm also having a little bit of problem storing all of these oxygen, so I think I'm just going to create a little bit of a oxalite factory over here to use this oxygen. If it produces a lot of oxalite, cool. If it doesn't, as long as it burns through all of this oxygen, it's all that I care. Okay, I think we have everything done for our clay farm 2.0. So, let's select the yucky stuff, also known as slime, not miscellaneous, organic, please. Slime. And it's not working, why? Oh, because of priorities, that's why. There we go. So the slime now will be sent over there. Hopefully there will be no off-gassing in here. Now let's witness this working. Now, my friends, just extending the chamber itself was a good improvement. There we go. Oh, okay, this is an unforeseen consequence. Yeah, I will have to optimize this a little bit. Yeah, because all the wires are united, a green signal will override another, like... Yeah. Now, one way to just get over this is just to build a bunch of filler gates. This way you can break the pipe and not worry too much about it. But yeah, as you can see, like the second a little bit of slime touches down, it deactivates the shutoff, which just means that we are spreading it as much as we can, and then that stops the auto sweeper from working, which will in turn stop the slime from being inputted into this. And yeah, hopefully this will help us out, creating a bunch of more clay. But yeah, like I was going to say, just having the chamber extended has increased the wow, polluted oxygen production by a lot, and now having all of this slime over here, as we can see, it is actually creating a good amount of polluted oxygen, which means that our clay production should also increase. Nice. Yeah, now we see some movement in this line. That's what we wanted to see. But well, my friends, it would appear that we are running out of time to complete this project, but at least we got it to work, and now we just need to do the final bits here and there, like, for example, finding a way to consume all of this oxygen, because, yeah, this thing can produce oxygen fast, not exactly clay fast. Well, that part has been fixed, right? But you know what I mean. Luckily for us, everything... Come on, bro. Thank you. Luckily for us, we fixed this, and, well... I'm certain that the theme of today will be insulation, because on the other side of the cosmos we got 55 kilograms of resin left, which is also pretty nice. Roughly 50 kilos for one harvest of mushrooms. Nothing we can complain too much, right? So yeah, next episode we probably are going to continue doing this thing. I've been waiting on this to go dormant on us. We still need to complete it, of course. But yeah, after this thing is complete, my friends, we are leaving this planet and going towards another. Maybe we should go to the water world next. Maybe we'll find a bunch of artifacts there. I hope so. But well, my friends, hopefully this thing will turn out the way that we are expecting, but the results will only be confirmed in the next episode. But from what I can see over here, I am pretty happy with the result. I would say that we have probably created more clay in this episode, in this cycle, than in the like last 5 cycles that this thing was operating. How the hell did some oxygen get in there? That's fine, that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry too much about that. So yeah, hopefully this thing will produce all the ceramic and insulation that we need so that we can finally finish our starport over here and get these hydrogen rockets finally undergoing. We really need to go and grab ourselves some hydrogen and water from that asteroid field to fill up our storage over here, so the sooner we can get that rolling, the better. But well, my friends, with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!